one of the first things that I did was to write a project plan, and that the project plan described how the project would be managed. It looked at risks, and it also looked at scope. So in discussion with some of the members of the steering committee, I raised the point of the long-term monitoring. How do we measure what we've achieved and after a successful eradication? And obviously quite um, there's a lot of implications around monitoring, particularly around resources and longevity of the project. So you can say, well, the monitoring of project outcomes was likely to take decades, and there was no appetite for the Macquarie eradication project per se to be an entity for that long. And so after discussion, it was specifically written into the what was in scope for the project and what was out of scope for the project. Long-term monitoring was out of scope for the project, and that would be, I suppose, devolved or sort of delegated by default, I guess, to other government agencies and university researchers to undertake that. So we did write a monitoring plan, which described the sort of things that we felt should be measured, but it was clear to sort of all of the stakeholders that the project in itself wasn't going to undertake the implementation of the monitoring plan. It was sort of more of a guideline for other agencies to pick up. And we were part of Parks and Wildlife Service, Tasmania Parks and Wildlife Service, and the sort of government department structure at that time. We had primary industries, water and environment, as a sort of sister department, and we, in fact, at the time, we were part of the same department as the nature conservation branch, as it was then. So the government departments tended to be chopped and changed, and various agencies were cut out of one and added to another. So, and that sort of applied to parks as well. But we sort of knew that the nature conservation branch had the people with the experience to undertake a lot of that monitoring, and not only the experience, but the opportunity as well in terms of already having established research programs on Macquarie Island. So we looked at those programs as sort of continuing and possibly being modified to anticipate what the outcomes would be and to make sure that they were captured.